Wow, it's been a long time since making one of these, and right off the bat I am going to apologise for how I sound. I'm quite sick, and I've just come back home from holidaying with family, so been suffering from a bit of jet lag. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Over the next couple of weeks, I won't be making, from starting from now, I won't be making preview videos. I'll just be reviewing every week of the Premier League, and there won't be no more screen things. It'll just be all face cam. So you'll see me, I'll talk to you. You can watch the video, you can minimize it and listen to it if you have already been doing that. Great. So that's what's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks. So we'll go to where the 21st week of the Premier League kicked off at the KC Stadium, where Chelsea put in a workmanlike performance against Hull, and the Blues ended up beating the Tigers there 2-0. It was a scrappy first half for Chelsea, who really most of their players seemed to be a little sluggish and just not up to the speed of the game. However, in the second half, they really just looked like a reinvigorated side. Obviously, they must have had a few harsh words from Mourinho and at the halftime interval, because they came out and really it was all sparked through Eden Hazard, and you could just tell that the way the whole city had been set up by Steve Bruce and the way that they had played on the counter-attack for most of the evening, that Hull were playing for the draw, and when they conceded through Eden Hazard, they were just clearly defeated, and it gave Chelsea just a definite 3 points. It was really a disappointing afternoon in Cardiff, where West Ham went there and defeated Cardiff 2-0. West Ham, they really dug deep for this victory, and they ended up, they finished ending a 7-game winless run, and it was made even more special by Andy Carroll, who made his long-awaited return. For Cardiff, though, they did control the majority of the game, but again, they just couldn't convert, and really the chances that fell to West Ham, they did and were able to take them. Goodison Park was where Everton put in 2 sensational strikes to defeat Norwich 2-0, and those strikes were absolutely outrageous from who was it? Was it Morales and somebody else that I can't remember? May have been Coleman again. But for Everton, it was just another ruthless home performance. And for Norwich City, they were in the game and they did have chances most of the time through Ricky van Wolfswinkel and Nathan Redmond, as well as Robert Snodgrass. However, Everton stood firm. They've got a great defensive record, and 5th spot is looking all the more possible for them, as they also have signed Aidan McGeady a couple of days ago. So again, Everton are strengthening and looking all the more like a top 5, top 4 team. Craven Cottage was where Fulham got blown away by Sunderland, and in particular Adam Johnson, as the Black Cats defeated Fulham 4-1. Now, for England, bad news during the week. They did lose Theo Walcott, so he won't be travelling to the World Cup, but maybe, just maybe, they gained Adam Johnson, who scored a hat-trick for Sunderland, and from what I saw of this game, it was the best display of Sunderland that I've seen for basically the whole entire season, maybe 2 seasons as well. And really, for the Black Cats, their confidence is high. They beat Manchester United, they beat Sunderland, they beat Chelsea, should I say, in both the domestic cups, and now they're going to Fulham and putting 4 past them, even though Fulham aren't the best side. So Sunderland are getting a bit of run in form, and hopefully for them it can continue. St Mary's was where Southampton narrowly edged out West Bromwich Albion 1-0, and for Bromwich, again, it was similar to the Chelsea. They really started off sluggish in the first half. Sorry, it's just a bit of sickness there. However, for Southampton, it was a really positive performance at home. I think Pochettino would be semi-proud of the way that his players put in a solid effort. However, I think that he would have liked more goals. And for Bromwich, most of their players, in actual fact, for the majority of the match, they looked a frustrated and disappointed side, as they weren't able to secure a vital away point. White Hart Lane was where a London derby took place between Tottenham and Palace, and it was Spurs that defeated Palace 2-0. That's not to say Palace weren't a threat, because they definitely were. Cameron Jerome and Marouane Chamakh up top were very deadly, and it was Tottenham that started off the slower team. However, they obviously, them being at home, the fans are getting behind them, they worked into the match, and it was made easier for Spurs because Jason Punchin missed a penalty, and in the second half, Tottenham had the better they had better spells, and they were able to secure the 3 points, and Jermaine Defoe got a goal, as he's going to leave to Toronto FC, I think, in less than a month's time. Old Trafford was where United beats Swansea City 2-0, and there wouldn't be a repeat of the FA Cup schmozzle that David Moyes and the Manchester United hierarchy had on their hands. However, that being said, Manchester United in the game, they looked a bit undecided, unsure at times of what to play, of how to play, and which passes to pick out, and it was really through individual players, specifically Danny Welbeck and Adnan Januzaj, that they were able to secure this win, and also the defence actually held up quite well, and the Manjovic put in a really good performance, and against Swansea, if you keep players like Wilfred Brony quiet, you are most likely going to get a positive result for your team. St James's Park was where Man City went and defeated Newcastle 2-0, and it was a hard-fought City win, and really City controlled proceedings early, and it was helped by an in-Dzeko early goal. However, for the majority of the match, I have to say, for about 70-75 minutes of the match, Newcastle really fought hard and were actually very resilient in defence, and they had a very incorrect decision. Cheick Tiote had a disallowed goal, which was, again, was disallowed by the referee, and it really changed the game, and it just caused Newcastle to lose all sorts of confidence, and I think Manchester City capitalised on that and scored very late on through Alvaro Negredo, and again moved within a point from the top of the table. At the Britannia, it was a goals galore as Liverpool put 5 past Stoke, but it's not saying that Stoke didn't have a good performance because they scored 3 goals themselves. However, for Liverpool, the SAS reunited in this game. That's right, Suarez and Sturridge were back in business, and for both teams, it was a very even contest. As the way the game panned out, both sides had their purple patches where they scored goals. If you look at the scoreline, I mean 8 goals in this game. So goals came in spurts, and it was really culminated in Luis Suarez, who scored a brace. I mean, you cannot keep that guy from scoring. He's just going to find the back of the net in every single game. For both teams, though, they did put in really good performances, and I think that both Mark Hughes and Brendan Rodgers will be very pleased about how their sides handled this fixture. I mean, Liverpool will be more happier than Stoke, because to put 5 past a very solid Stoke defence and at the Britannia to secure 3 points is a very good effort, and it makes sure that Liverpool just aren't out of the title race just yet. The final game taking place at Villa Park was where league leaders Arsenal maintained their top of the league status by really a hard-fought victory over Villa 2-1. For Aston Villa, though, they were asleep in the first half. They really just didn't have any possession. I think the stats at halftime I saw was like 70% to Arsenal, 70 to 30% in favour of Arsenal, and through that, Arsenal capitalised through 2 goals in about the space of a minute. Both Walcott, who was injured, Wilshere scored, and then he assisted Olivier Giroud for the second. After both goals were scored from Arsenal, they really just looked lazy and sloppy, and I think they got a bit complacent with their lead, and it allowed Villa in the second half to apply a lot of pressure, and they did apply that pressure as Christian Benteke ended his goal-scoring drought and scored the goal for Villa, which again made it tough times for Arsenal. And in these fixtures, Arsenal do make things a little tougher for themselves. However, their defence was again very resilient, very strong, very combative, and they were able to survive the trip to Villa Park with 3 points. And that means that they stay on the top of the table. So that was my review of the 21st week. As I said at the start of the video, I won't be doing previews anymore. I'll be reviewing games in more detail. There will be face cam by next week's review. I hope your team had a favourable result, and I'll see you guys in a week's time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.